Yo, so Earl Sweatshirt and The Alchemist are supposed to be making an album or a project together, but by the time this video comes out, it'll probably have already been released. So, yeah, these videos are made a little in advance, but that's okay. You clicked on this video because you want to know who the three biggest hip hop heads, the three biggest hip hop artists are gonna be in this 2020s decade. Now, before, we all know we had Drake, we had J. Cole, and we had Kendrick Lamar. And I'm gonna be honest, I never really understood why these three got grouped together. Drake is a Kanye prodigy who doesn't really do anything except for make music that makes you sleep. Um, let's see, J. Cole has a couple hype songs that everyone knows, but I don't know if anyone actually really likes them besides like these stereotypical frat guys or wannabe frat guys in high school. I'm talking about like No Role Models, Middle Child, and everyone kind of jokes about Wet Dreams, but like, I guess it's a song. Yeah, and then we've got Kendrick Lamar, who's actually one of the few in all of the pop atmosphere that are actually very artistic and is able to make so many mediums of art actually artistic and not just some garbage that they spew. That's my opinion, so I never really understood. Like, think about it though. Like whatever the fuck Drake has been dropping the past like 7 years has been kind of not gonna lie. Maybe even before. I didn't even think he was that good in 2016, guys. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion though. Okay. And then J. Cole too. Like I liked the off season. Yeah, it was okay. It was good. And then Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, however, now that's a good album. Anyways, so with Drake talking about retirement, J. Cole talking about retirement, Kendrick Lamar symbolically, metaphorically passing the torch off to people like Baby Keem, that gets everybody thinking, what is hip hop gonna do without its big three? What's gonna happen in this next generation? Because before, in like the 90s, you had like Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas from like New York. You had like NWA, everybody on Death Row Records, Tupac on the West Coast, and then in like the 2000s, you had people like Eminem. Kind of pains me to say it, but like Pitbull was pretty big, 50 Cent was pretty big, Kanye was pretty big. That was like each era. Now we're in the 2020s and things are really changing. So there's a couple of candidates for who could be the top three. Obviously, there's someone like Tyler the Creator, who is always dropping. Dude drops every 2 years, so he should drop this year, making just beautiful art, and he just keeps getting better. Except, in my opinion, Wolf is better than Call Me If You Get Lost, even with the estate sale. But that's just my opinion. Now, that might change. Who knows what his next project will entail either. We've got people like Baby Keem, who are doing like really fun, goofy shit, with also like really hard bangers. Like, dude's making a name for himself. We've also got people like Playboy Cardi, who's like crafting an entire new genre of rage music, closely with like Lil Uzi. They're kind of doing their own thing, but their style of SoundCloud rap, has completely changed into like these two different lanes of rage. Pretty fantastic to see, although they're really quiet, so they don't really drop much music. And the song that Playboy Cardi was on with Madonna and The Weeknd, I really love the singing parts, but Playboy Cardi went back to like that like Drake, what was it, Pain 1993? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. That feature was so ass. Whole Lotta Red became better, and then he's back to that kind of ass feature. Anyways, these are all potential candidates, but no one really like sticks out, But there are, in my opinion, three people that I haven't mentioned that are pretty obvious. Let me start with the first one. 21 Savage. This dude is fucking everywhere. Like, I don't know why he's so popular. He's on Creepin'. He's on every Metro Boomin project. He's on features with like Travis Scott, Young Thug, J. Cole. Dude is just everywhere. Drake, like they made a fucking collab album together. And in my opinion, 21 Savage kind of follows the role that J. Cole played in 2010. This dude is just everywhere and everyone knows his name, but do people actually like his music? Like, I'm not the only one that's been saying this, but since like 2017, since like I first heard 21 Savage, I'm like, damn, this guy's kind of boring. His voice is pretty boring. He doesn't really change up the sound of his voice. He changed up his flow. You know, he's got good rhyme schemes and stuff, but I don't really find it super talented. He really just gets carried by the beats that are usually provided by Metro Boomin. And his ad libs are kind of, I mean, we all know it's just 21, 21, 21, 21. I ate a bag of chips, 21, and they were Fritos, 21. Get my cheese up, and they're 21, 21. Like, bro, come on. You gotta stop saying 21. I know it's your thing, but stop saying 21. It's so annoying. I have a friend, she's really into The Weeknd, but she doesn't like Creepin' that much because 21 Savage is on it, and all he says is 21. Kind of annoying. And he's just everywhere for some reason. And I don't know why he has that kind of appeal. I don't know anybody who actually likes 21 Savage's music. He's kind of just a meme. There's like pictures of like those mug shots and those candid shots where they screenshot like a weird frame. You know, I think he's been freed from prison a couple times, and like, yeah, I don't know. But he's everywhere and he's really big, and so I feel like symbolically everything that he does kind of emulates what J. Cole did in the 2010s. He's just everywhere. People just listen to him for some reason, but he might have a good song here or there, a banger here and there, but I can't really see him doing much else except for just topping charts and just being this guy that people know. He's like the, oh yeah, right, this guy exists. And that's why I believe he's in this like third place J. Cole position. Now the next one I'm talking about, this guy, pretty infamous nowadays, pretty notorious for what he did at his festival, you know, not managing the crowd well, and it led to about 10 people passing away, Travis Scott. So, Utopia is supposed to come out in June or July of 2023, and this album will probably make or break his career. Everyone knows it. It's not quite like his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because Kanye didn't, you know, wasn't indirectly responsible for 10 people passing away. But Kanye did do something really bad. He kind of like banished himself from the public eye for a bit, came back with such a banger and essentially an apology, or not really an apology, but owning up to the mistakes and who he is and how he's not going to change because he doesn't want to sacrifice his authenticity, right? He came up with Runaway and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It was really cool. Travis Scott, another Kanye prodigy, is in the same situation. But a lot of people are saying that behind the scenes, Travis Scott doesn't really care about all the people and families that he's hurt. He really just cares about, you know, winning a Grammy, getting money, radio plays, all that stuff, you know? And so it's just like, it's a little painful to see. So I don't know how I'll go into listening to this album. But if it ends up doing well, if the public eye, if the public image ends up forgiving him, he will land his spot at Drake's position. This guy who gets like radio hits, bangers, and is, you know, a Kanye prodigy. I feel like Travis Scott has more of the banger potential than 21 Savage does. That's why I'm putting him in this position, because genuinely, like, I kind of fuck with a lot of his music, you know? I fuck with, Skeletons. I fuck with Stargazing, except for those lyrics kind of aged really badly. Carousel's really good. 5% Tint, Stop Trying to Be God. And of course, All of Rodeo, fantastic, man. But I'm just wondering, like, if Utopia doesn't do well, if it flops, you know, if like 14 to like 17-year-old white boys can't carry his career, then I don't know who will. Because dude's still kind of remained relevant, you know, but he's made a bunch of like ass music, kind of like what Drake does, you know, like Escape Plan and Mafia are kind of boring, not gonna lie. And I hope they don't land themselves on Utopia, because they have a lot more potential, like with God's Country and fuck, I forget what the one is with West Side Gun, but I really, really love those two songs. They sound so different. It's like trap mixed with soul fused together to be like this spacey, futuristic sound. I really wish he goes with this, and I hope his music does well, but I really hope he also changes as a person. But yeah, I feel like Travis Scott is the Drake position. Now, number one might be surprising, and this all comes down to opinion, of course, because I feel like Kendrick is the best out of the three people listed. J. Cole comfortably says he's like third place, and Drake and Kendrick just battle it out. This next guy I'm choosing made a really, really big splash last year in the hip-hop scene, and he's been doing really, really well for the past like half decade, maybe even longer. But since I've been following him in 2018, he's been really, really good. Um, and yeah, um, his name is JID. Now I know JID, like pretty big name. And at one point last year, I think he had 30, maybe close to 40 million monthly listeners. Now he's tapered off to about 20 million, which isn't the biggest hit potential. You know, like JID, it's hard to say because, in my opinion, he is the next Kendrick Lamar. When he made the Forever Story, that to me was just his version of Good Kid, Mad City. Not saying that he's just copying Good Kid, Mad City, but no, it's just him telling his story about his life, his experiences, and it was presented so uniquely, so beautifully, so masterfully, and it was genuinely on par with some of the best albums, like, of hip hop, you know? Comparing it with last year, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, and The Forever Story. These three albums are fantastic. They're genuinely so good, but I think The Forever Story has more longevity, in my opinion. And again, it's like the Good Kid, Mad City of uh, of 2022, exactly 10 years after Good Kid, Mad City dropped. And I just feel like this dude has wonderful flow, fantastic artistry, a good team behind him. You know, he's got Dreamville and a bunch of other people that he works with. Dude is just so fantastic. Like, you can't tell me that a song like Surround Sound or Radar or System M or Stars is bad. Like, this stuff is fantastic, man. I just don't think he has like that one hit like Humble or Love, but I think he's getting there. And I feel like in the next 10 years, he definitely is able to fill that Kendrick Lamar spot. That's just my opinion. So the top three, we got J. Cole is essentially going to be filled by 21 Savage. Drake is going to be replaced by Travis Scott, and we have Kendrick Lamar being replaced by J.I.D. Those are my opinions. These three really stand out. Two of them, again, I hit or miss, and one of them pretty hardcore, consistent artistry. And I think he can make a bigger splash in the pool of hip hop. But yeah, give me your opinions and let me know who you think the next big three are gonna be. So yeah, see ya.